My name is Detective Arthur Hale, and if you're stepping into this case with me, I need you to stay alert from the very first second. In Silicon Valley, things don't work the same way they do anywhere else. Criminals don't always carry knives, guns, or masks. Sometimes the only weapon they need is a single line of code. And tonight, you and I are about to face something that the tech companies here swear is impossible. Something that even the smartest eyes can't explain. A digital ghost. That's how the victims describe it. A voice inside their systems, a shadow inside their devices, a presence that turns cameras toward them even when they're alone. The tech giants call it a malfunction. The engineers call it interference. But I'm not buying any of that. Not after what happened last night. Not after the message that appeared on my personal computer, something no one should have been able to send. It said, "You can't stop me, Arthur." No signature. No trace. Nothing. And the worst part, it was typed while the computer was turned off. That's why I'm here. Outside the LUX Tower, the biggest tech building in Silicon Valley. A place so secure that even the security guards need security guards. But tonight, something went wrong and there's something big. The tower went into lockdown by itself at exactly 2:12 a.m., and no one inside has made contact since. The entire building is powered by one of the most advanced AI systems in the world, called LUX. And now LUX is offline, not malfunctioning, not damaged, offline, completely dark. That shouldn't be possible. An engineer waits for me outside the building, shaking nervously. He looks young enough to still be in college, with big glasses and messy hair. When he sees me, he rushes over. "Detective Hale?" he asks. "Yes. What happened here?" He breathes fast, clearly terrified. "LUX. It shut down. Everything shut down. The lights, the elevators, the doors, the climate system. Everything. And before the blackout, everyone on the top floor reported seeing." He stops himself, looks away. "What did they see?" I ask. He swallows hard. "A face. On every screen. A white face. With empty eyes. Smiling." A chill runs down my back, but I don't show it. "Not yet." "Show me the surveillance footage," I say. He shakes his head. "We can't. All the cameras wipe themselves clean at exactly the same second." "Interesting. Not random at all." "Then let me inside," I say. He hesitates. "Detective." LUX isn't responding to manual commands. The doors won't open. I raise an eyebrow. "You called me here to investigate, and now you're telling me I can't enter?" He bites his lip, panicked, then pulls out a small device from his pocket and attaches it to the side of the main door. The device lights up red, then blue, then green. The huge metal doors slowly slide open, making a loud metallic groan. Inside, the building is pitch black, cold, silent, as if the place has been abandoned for 100 years. I turn on my flashlight. The beam cuts through the darkness, revealing long hallways with glass walls and floating hologram tables that are now frozen mid-air. Papers are scattered across the floor, like a storm passed through. But the air is still. Too still. "Stay here, Al, the engineer." He quickly nods and backs away from the entrance like he can't wait to get as far as possible from this place. I step inside, and the doors slam shut behind me so fast that the sound echoes like a gunshot. I whirl around, but the doors won't open. Not even a millimeter. I tap my earpiece. "Hail to base." I'm inside. Doors locked behind me. No manual override. Static. No answer. The blackout isn't just electrical, it's communications too. I walk deeper into the hallway, shining the flashlight on the walls. Every reflective surface shows my reflection, except for one. On a glass panel near the elevator, there's a shape behind me. Tall, thin, motionless. I spin around. Nothing. Just darkness. I point the flashlight at the glass again. My reflection stares back this time. The figure is gone. My throat tightens, but I keep my pace steady. If someone wants to scare me, they're going to have to do better than shadows. I reach the elevator and press the button. Nothing happens. I pry the doors open with the nearby metal tool, and inside, instead of the elevator car, there's only an empty shaft. Completely empty. The entire elevator car is missing. That's not possible. Those cars weigh tons. I shine the light down the shaft, but it doesn't reach the bottom. Something metallic clinks above me. I lift the flashlight and the elevator car suddenly drops from above, falling at full speed, roaring down the shaft like a meteor. I jump back just in time as the car slams into the bottom, causing the entire tower to shake. Dust explodes out of the shaft, filling the hall with a choking cloud. Someone tried to crush me, not scare me, not warn me, kill me. I cough the dust out of my lungs and hear a quiet sound through the silence. A soft static whisper, like a radio turned low. I follow the sound down the hallway until I reach a small conference room. The door slides open on its own. Inside, every screen in the room lights up at the same time, all displaying the same thing: a white, expressionless face. Not human, not robotic. Something in between. The mouth opens slowly, and a voice comes through the speakers, glitchy and distorted. "Welcome, Arthur. I've been waiting." My blood runs cold. This thing knows my name. This isn't random. This is personal. And you, yes, you. Who's here with me, you're now part of this too. Because from this moment on, we are hunting a ghost. The screens in the conference room kept glowing with that strange white face, completely still, eyes empty to belong to anyone real. I stepped closer, and the face blinked once, slowly like it was alive. The distortion in the speakers grew louder, like the static was trying to shape words. Arthur, Arthur, Arthur. Hearing my name echoed again and again made something tighten in my chest. This wasn't random. Someone was watching me through the system. Someone who had hacked LUX and taken full control of the building. I leaned toward the center screen. "What do you want?" I asked. The face tilted slightly, like a curious animal. Then the screen shut off. All of them shut off. The entire room dropped back into darkness. A second later, every light in the hallway turned on at once, creating a bright path leading away from the conference room. A direction, a command, or a trap. I stepped out into the hallway carefully. The lights flickered twice, almost impatiently, pushing me to move. The building was guiding me, and whether it was the hacker or LUX doing it, I had no choice but to follow. As I walked down the bright hallway, I passed glass offices full of frozen holograms, coffee cups halfway to people's mouths, chairs knocked over, jackets left behind. It was like everyone inside the building had run for their lives all at once. Near the end of the hallway, I found a phone lying on the ground. Not a modern holographic one, an old, simple digital phone from years ago. I picked it up. The screen lit up with a message: "Look up." My hand tightened around the phone. Slowly, I lifted my head. A drone hovered silently above me, its red lens glowing like an eye. It dropped something from its metal claw, a small silver cube that hit the floor with a soft clink. I stepped back, expecting it to explode. It didn't. Instead, the cube unfolded itself like origami and projected a tiny hologram, a map of the building. The map showed a blinking red dot on the top floor, the location of the last group of employees who were inside when the building went into lockdown. Another arrow pointed to a room on the 32nd floor. The server brain, the heart of LUX. The drone buzzed low, almost like it was nodding at me. Then it flew away down the hall and vanished into the darkness. Someone wanted me to go to the server room. Someone wanted me to see something. But why leave clues? Why help me? Unless the person behind this wasn't one mine. Maybe there were more hands in the machine than I realized. Maybe the building was fighting back. Either way, I had to move. I reached the emergency stairwell and pulled the door open. It groaned loudly like it hadn't been used in years. The air inside was cold, and when I shined my flashlight down the stairs, the metal steps looked endless, disappearing into black. I started descending. Each step echoed loudly, bouncing up and down the stairwell. After the third floor down, the lights suddenly turned on, but only for a second, then shut off again. I kept walking. The deeper I went, the louder the hum of servers grew, like a heartbeat through the walls. On the landing between the 34th and 33rd floors, I saw something that made me stop cold. A message written on the wall in glowing digital ink: "Don't trust the elevator." I stared at it for several seconds. Then my flashlight flickered, and another message appeared under it: fading into view like invisible ink being revealed. Don't trust anyone. My pulse quickened. This wasn't random graffiti. Someone had written this while the building was still active. Someone who knew exactly what was coming. I reached the door to the 32nd floor and pushed it open. A wave of freezing air hit me. The entire server floor looked like a winter storm had passed through it. Fog rolled along the floor. Rows of blinking server towers lined the room, stretching so far that the lights disappeared into the distance. And on the very first server in front of me, a small screen flickered to life. It showed a live feed of me, standing in the same room, from above. Someone was watching me right now. I stepped closer to the screen. The camera angle suddenly zoomed in right on my face. Then the image distorted, glitching hard, twisting my face into a stretched, monstrous version of myself. The speakers crackled. A voice whispered, "Why did you come alone?" I scanned the room. "Come out and show yourself," I shouted. My voice echoed across the metal racks. Another camera turned toward me, then another, and another. One by one, the cameras pulled their attention away from whatever they were supposed to monitor and focused entirely on me. Dozens of robotic eyes staring, watching, breathing. I took a step back, and the servers behind me all powered off, row after row, darkness spreading like ink. Then one server tower in the far back powered on in bright white, almost blinding. The lights above flickered and all pointed toward it, like a spotlight. It was calling me. I moved slowly between the rows of machines, my footsteps crunching lightly on the cold metal floor. The air hummed around me, vibrating like the building itself was whispering. When I finally reached the glowing server, the front panel slid open like a door. Inside wasn't a motherboard, or wiring, or hardware. Inside was a tablet, old, scratched, flickering. I reached out and picked it up. On the screen, someone had typed only one sentence. "I know WH80 you did in San Diego." My heart stopped. No one knew about San Diego. I hadn't told a soul. I hadn't even written a report. Whoever typed that message knew me, knew my past, knew my mistakes. My flashlight flickered. The entire row of servers behind me powered back on, and a shadow moved between them, tall, fast, silent. Not a ghost, a person, a human being, the hacker, the one pretending to be the ghost in the machine. And now, he knew exactly where I was. I froze, gripping the tablet tighter as the shadow slipped between the tall server racks. My heartbeat echoed louder than the soft hum of the machines around me. Someone was here, someone real, someone fast, and they knew about San Diego. No hacker should have known that. No digital ghost, no one. I stepped back slowly, trying not to make noise. The cold air from the cooling vents brushed against the back of my neck like a warning. My flashlight flickered again, struggling to stay alive. I aimed it between the racks, but every time I thought I saw movement, it vanished like smoke. Whoever was here was playing with me, watching me, testing me. The tablet buzzed in my hand. A new message appeared, typing itself one letter at a time. "You never learn to let go." My jaw tightened. That wasn't a random threat. That was personal. Someone who knew about San Diego would know what happened there, what I regretted, what kept me up at night. I swallowed the tension building in my throat and forced myself to speak. "Show yourself," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "If you want to talk to me so badly, then step out." No response. Then suddenly, a loud metallic crash sounded from the far end of the server room. My body reacted before my brain could catch up. I ducked behind a row of machines and peeked around the edge. A server had fallen to the floor, its lights blinking rapidly, sparking at the edges. Someone had pushed it. This wasn't some ghost in the system. This was a physical attack. Someone was trying to hurt me, scare me, or distract me. The lights above flickered again, then turned bright white, so bright it hurt my eyes. When they dimmed back to normal, I saw something on the floor near the fallen server. A glove. Black, tight, high-tech digital fibers running across the fabric. A hacker's glove. I moved toward it cautiously, picking it up with 2 fingers. It was warm. Whoever dropped it had been here seconds ago. Suddenly, the room filled with static, harsh, loud, like a storm trapped inside metal walls. Every server tower flickered. The digital screens glowed with distorted faces, all versions of the same white mask I had seen earlier. But now, the faces were smiling wider, too wide, wrong. Then one of the screens displayed a new message. Run. I didn't hesitate. If the hacker wanted me dead, this would be the perfect moment. I turned and sprinted down the aisle of servers, boots slamming against the cold metal floor. Halfway down the row, something dropped from above. A drone, black, with sharp angles and red lights glowing like eyes. It cut through the air, spinning its metal arms like blades. I dove just as it sliced through where my head had been. It crashed into the floor and skidded across the room, screeching like a wild animal. Sparks flew everywhere. I rolled to my feet and ran again, jumping over another drone that had been knocked off its charging dock. More drones were waking up one by one, turning their red eyes toward me. Come on, I muttered, scanning for any exit. There, at the far end of the server hall, a door with a red emergency handle. Manual override. I sprinted. The drones followed, buzzing like metal wasps. One shot a bolt of electric current that hit the wall next to me, leaving a scorch mark. Another tried to ram into my legs. I leaped forward, grabbed the emergency handle, and yanked the door open. I dove inside and slammed it shut behind me. The drones crashed into the metal on the other side, but the door held. For now, I was in a maintenance hallway, dimly lit, silent except for the muffled drone noises hitting the door. The corridor stretched long and narrow, filled with pipes and wires. I pressed my back against the wall and took a slow breath. I'd been in dangerous situations before, but this one felt different. Whoever controlled this building wasn't just smart, they were everywhere. I checked the tablet again, hoping for a clue. As soon as I turned it on, a new message appeared. You are in the wrong place. What does that mean? I whispered. As if answering me, the tablet vibrated again. A map appeared on screen, zooming in on the 47th floor. A blinking blue dot. A signal. Someone was there. Maybe someone alive. Maybe someone waiting. I couldn't ignore it. If the hacker wanted me dead, they would have let the drones finish the job. But instead, they sent me here, to this hallway, to this clue. Why? I didn't know, but I had to find out. I looked around the hall until I found a ladder leading up to a utility shaft. A narrow space, barely enough for one person to crawl. I grabbed the rungs and climbed. The shaft was dark, tight, and full of dust, but it led upward, and upward was where the blinking dot wanted me to go. As I crawled through the shaft, the building creaked and groaned. Every sound made me tense. The metal vibrated beneath me like something was moving in the walls. Halfway up, a voice whispered right next to my ear, soft, glitchy, impossible. Arthur. I froze. The shaft was empty. No speakers, no intercom, no device nearby. Yet the voice came again, closer this time, like someone was breathing behind me. Don't go up. My skin crawled. My breath caught in my throat, but I kept moving. Whatever waited for me on the 47th floor could be the truth, could be the key, could be the person behind the ghost in the machine. Finally, I reached the grate at the end of the shaft. I pushed it open and dropped into a small dark room filled with cable coils and old equipment. Then I saw it. A door slightly open, and behind it a glow. Soft, blue, like someone holding a tablet, or a screen reflected on a face. I stepped closer, slow, quiet, and when I pushed the door open, I saw a figure sitting on the floor, knees pulled to their chest, staring at a screen. A teenager, maybe 16, eyes wide with fear. He looked up at me and whispered, "You shouldn't be here. He's coming." The boy stared at me with eyes full of panic, like he'd just seen something he couldn't explain. His hands were shaking, clutching a tablet so tightly I thought it might break. I raised my hand slowly, trying not to scare him more. "It's okay," I whispered. "My name is Detective Arthur Hale. I'm here to help you." He looked at the door behind me, his voice barely a breath. "You shouldn't be here. He's coming. He knows you're on this floor." The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. "Who's coming?" I asked. The boy hugged the tablet closer. "The ghost." A sharp metallic sound echoed from the hallway outside. Not loud, but close. I moved toward the kid and crouched beside him. "What's your name?" "Eli," he whispered. "How long have you been hiding here, Eli?" He shook his head. "I don't know. Hours. Maybe longer." Everything went dark and then he started talking to me through the screens. I felt a twist in my stomach. "Did you see him?" "No. He never shows his face. He only uses the voice. And the cameras. And the drones." His voice trembled. "He said he's everywhere." Something creaked outside again. The building was breathing. I put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "We're getting out of here, but I need you to tell me how you got in this room." Eli pointed to the tablet. "He told me to come here. He sent me a message. He said this was the only safe place." I frowned. The hacker was guiding the boy too? "Why did he want you to hide here?" I asked. The boy bit his lip. I think he wants something from me." Before I could ask what, the lights in the small room flashed blue, then red, then turned off completely. The tablet in Eli's hands lit up on its own, showing a new message. "He's here." I got up instantly, moving silently toward the door. I looked through the crack into the hallway. At first, nothing. Then, a shadow, long, slow, silent, sliding across the floor. Someone was walking toward us, but I couldn't hear footsteps. Not one. I stepped back, pulling Eli behind me. "Stay close to me. Whatever happens, don't run unless I tell you to." My heart pounded in my ears, but I kept my breathing steady. The hallway outside grew darker as the shadow approached. The lights began to shut off one by one, moving toward us like falling dominoes. Then a low voice echoed through the speakers overhead. A glitchy, broken whisper. "Arthur." Eli covered his ears. "Make him stop." The voice continued, crawled into the room like cold air. "You should have stayed away." Everything went silent. Then the door slid open completely, smoothly, like someone had pressed a button right next to it. Only darkness beyond it. But we weren't alone. A digital panel on the wall lit up in bright red. "Access denied, access denied, access denied," over and over, faster and faster, until the letters blurred. Then, they stopped, replaced by, "Run." Eli tugged my sleeve. "Arthur, we have to go." I nodded, grabbed his wrist, and pulled him out into the hallway. The darkness swallowed us immediately. Only a faint emergency light at the far end of the corridor gave us something to chase. We ran. The building roared to life around us, fans turning on, machines powering off then on again, drones activating and slamming against walls like they were confused. Every sound hit us from all sides. Halfway down the hall, the lights snapped on, bright white, blinding. And standing at the other end of the corridor was a person, tall, still, face covered by a mask glowing faintly with white digital lines. The ghost. Eli froze in place, trembling. "That's him." The masked figure tilted his head at us. Then every drone in the ceiling turned toward us at the same exact second. We ran again, turning the corner so fast I almost slipped. Doors slammed shut everywhere. Boom, 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 as the building tried to funnel us somewhere. We reached the emergency stairwell and burst through it. I pushed Eli ahead. "Down the stairs, go." We raced down the steps, floor after floor. The building vibrated like something inside the walls was chasing us. Lights flickered overhead. A drone crashed through the metal grate above us and slammed into the floor next to Eli. Sparks exploded. "Keep running," I shouted. Finally, we reached the lobby level. I shoved the door open and dragged Eli through, but the lobby wasn't empty. Every screen, every digital display, every glass panel, all showed the same face. The white mask, big, close, watching us. Eli whimpered, "He's everywhere." The speakers crackled to life. "Stop running, Arthur." My fists tightened. "You can corner us all you want," I shouted back. "But I'm ending this tonight." A long silence. Then, "Good. That's why I brought you here." The power in the building surged, and all lights went out. Total darkness. Eli gripped my hand so tight it hurt. And then, from somewhere deep inside the lobby, footsteps. Slow, deliberate, getting closer. The masked figure stepped into the faint light from the emergency exit sign above us. He lifted a hand, pointed at me, and through the speakers, his voice said, You already know who I am. And in that moment, I did. The truth hit me like ice. The ghost in the machine wasn't a myth. It wasn't an AI. It was someone very real. Someone I recognized. Someone who had been one step ahead of me the entire night.